There are certain people who are funny, and then there are people who are funny. And that's where Jermaine FunnyMaine Johnson comes in. Not just a comedian, not just an Alabama fan, but the Root website back in 2021 named him one of the 100 most influential people in the country. He's not just about that comedy, but he is about that comedy. Great to have Jermaine FunnyMaine Johnson joining us here on Freddie and Harry. Hit him on Twitter at FunnyMaine. Jermaine, number one, thank you for showing up on our show. We really appreciate it. Number two, a lot of people get asked this question, and I can't wait for your answer. You know you're funny. But what made you get into comedy to show exactly how funny you are?
Now, first, man, thank y'all for, letting me come on the show. Love what you guys do. And to me, I never wake up feeling funny. I won class clown at every grade level, like kindergarten, 5th grade, 8th grade, high school. And I just like making people laugh. I had these crazy thoughts in my head. I blurt them out, people laugh, and that's as much as I think about it.
That's pretty cool. So me growing up, the funniest person I've been around was my best friend, Jacob. Now, for you, outside of yourself, who was the funniest person that you were around?
Oh, my Uncle Junior. My Uncle Junior, Floyd Ruffin Jr. from Tuscaloosa. He's naturally funny. He's always making jokes, great observations, just a great outlook, an honest outlook on life. And I actually let him do about 5 minutes of stand-up one time on my show, and he with no experience, he just killed it. So that's my uncle. He's just very funny. If you ever got to meet him, hilarious individual.
What was that like? Because it's one thing to know that somebody has that sense of humor. Stand-up comedy is not just an art form. It can be an art painting to you-know-what if you're not funny. So what was that like seeing your uncle being funny all that time? And then Jermaine, he gets up on stage, and just like you, he slaughters the audience.
Yeah, I knew that he missed his calling. I had thought about it for years, that he should have been the first comedian in the family. And then when I saw him do his thing, I was like, I knew it. I just wanted that confirmation so I can go on with my life and know that man literally missed his calling on stage, but he's made us laugh in real life so much that, he's doing his thing, and I love my uncle to death.
I think this is the perfect time to get your advice for whoever loses our tournament challenge that we had. All four of us filled out a bracket, right? Mm-hmm. And the person that comes in fourth place comes in last, a.k.a. Freddie calls them the bottom feeder. They have to do stand-up comedy for 3 straight minutes on the show, and we're going to judge how they do. Now, if it's funny, we're going to laugh. If it's not funny, they probably definitely going to get booed. Right. So what's your advice basically to Devin Kane, because he's the one that's going to be in fourth place?
Well, my advice is this. You got to believe it before the crowd believes it. So if you don't believe what you're saying, when you come out, you're toast already. Number 2, be sick that day, man. Just be sick, okay? It's probably going to end rough for you. This comedy thing, it gets easier, but it's really tough when you haven't, did it consistently. So, find a way to get out of it. There's nothing wrong with that, man. The crowd will understand.
Wow.
So what you're saying, Jermaine, he should poop on himself like Ken did when we had him on the last segment.
do whatever you gotta do. You got COVID. You still grieving over your great grandfather. Whatever excuse will get you out, brother. Use it. Trust me.
Oh God, I'm weak right now. Jermaine FunnyMaine Johnson, great comedian. Not only that, but also an Alabama fan. Great follow on Twitter at FunnyMaine. Joining us on Freddie and Harry and ESPN Radio. Real quick, I got to read this. I got a text message, Jermaine, from my relative, Grady, who's my cousin. He's a sheriff down in Alabama. Mm-hmm. He saw you perform for the first time that you ever performed at the University of Alabama, Birmingham. And I'm reading the text word for word. He says, Freddie, I'm glad you got Jermaine on today because the first time I saw him was the first time he ever performed. And he had a standing ovation at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, when you first got started. Now, Grady doesn't lie to me. As a sheriff, he better not. Let's put it that way. So what was that like the first time you get up on stage? My cousin is there, and people literally stood and applauded the first time you're on stage as a comedian.
Yeah, that's a true story, man. Shout out to the Old Hill Center at UAB. Yep. Thursday, August 25th, 2005, first time I ever performed. And, man, I was so nervous. I probably had a little liquid encouragement. But, again, I believe what I was saying, and it connected with the audience. You know, when I say standing ovation, it was a room of about 300 people, and about 30 of them stood up. So I'm gonna take that as a standing O.
Standing O's a standing O. I don't care what the number is.
Absolutely. So I never looked back, man. I never forgot that feeling, and I just wanted that feeling over and over again of, you know, putting these crazy thoughts in my head to paper and saying them in front of an audience, and it connected, man. What a out of body experience.
And since we're talking about Alabama, we know you're a huge Alabama Crimson Tide fan.
Mm-hmm.
Describe the
Tide,
feeling,
baby.
man, having Bama in the Final Four, and how does this compare to Bama being in the college football playoffs?
It's weird, man. We're not used to this, bro. I'll be honest, you know, April for us has usually been us getting ready for the 8A spring game, but now, you know, the guys are pushing it here, and we got to find out how we're going to talk trash to everybody. Because with football, we know what to do. But with basketball, it's kind of like we want to be obnoxious, we want to talk our trash, but we don't want to jinx the team. So it's a new space for us, man, but we just love how these guys just turned their season around, and they just having great success, and just being good teammates to each other, man. We are enjoying this ride. It's a great time to be an Alabama fan.
No doubt about that. Comedian Jermaine FunnyMaine Johnson joining us on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio, because I remember Nate Oats took the head coaching job at Alabama, and I told people, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know that guy's going to make you more successful than you ever could have thought possible with Alabama, especially on a football campus. Jermaine, what has it been like seeing that, going from Nate Oats, who was coaching at Buffalo, to what he's done for Alabama basketball, putting them in the Final Four?
Man, it's been great, man. Nate Oats he's such a Bama guy. Like, he fits in so much to the campus culture and the culture of the state. And we kind of saw it building. You know, there were some exciting hires that kind of didn't pan out, but it built, you know, it gave us the first building blocks to build. When you think about Coach Anthony Grant, and then you think about that hiring with Coach Avery Johnson, those were exciting. And then you brought in Nate Oats. We had to do a little Googling because we had never heard of him, but we knew the two previous guys. And, of course, we knew Mark Godfrey. But as we learned more about the success of Nate Oats, it just became really exciting. And he turned it up really quick, man, with guys that were still at the program. He brought in some great recruits, and here we are, man, a Final Four team. This is exciting.
Jermaine, keep it real with us, man. How weird is it going to be not seeing Nick Saban on the sidelines for Alabama next year? Keep it real. Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel now.
Listen, it's going to be very weird, man. You know, we're going through a divorce after 17 years. There's a lot of kids involved, some dogs. He let us keep the house. But no, man, it's all love. There was nothing else that Nick Saban needed to do, nothing else that he needed to prove. And now that we see him just spending time with his family and golfing and being happy, but everywhere he go, he's still rocking the script A. So we know that Crimson is still in his heart, man. And the program is still exciting. I was down at practice yesterday. I had a chance to meet Coach DeBoer, the staff, the GM, and dude, those players are locked in, man. So I think what Saban has built, it's still going to keep building. It's still going to be a fine-tuned machine. It's going to keep moving forward. And I saw it with my own eyes yesterday. So we're going to miss you, Nick, but Pop, you know, enjoy your time off, man. You earned it. You gave us some great memories and a lot of trophies. We got to build another unit to the house to keep all these trophies that he's given us over the years. So we want to keep adding to it.
You've been able to accumulate trophies with your comedy tours, and also, like I said, being one of the most 100 influential people according to the website, and your comedy tour starts this month. So for those who need to catch you and should catch you, where can they catch you?
Y'all can go to my website. It's FunnyMaine.com. Maine is spelled just like the state. FunnyMaine.com, and you'll see a list of all the cities. I don't want to start listing cities because I might miss one, but go to that website.
Right.
I would love to see y'all in person, and I'm telling y'all, it's not just a bunch of Bama fans at the show. If you love college athletics, college sports, and you love clean comedy for the whole family, if you're 18 and up, come on out to one of those tour dates if it's close to your city. everybody's going to leave with a big smile on their face. We do some Q&A. It's just we take selfies and pictures. It's a full comedy experience, man. So if you've never experienced the FunnyMaine comedy show, check out the website, pick a date, bring the crew, come on through.
And the first performance that he'll have will be April 23 in New Orleans. That's when he kicks off the FunnyMaine Comedy Tour. Great stuff by, he's not a guest anymore. He's family. He's an FOS friend of the show. He is Jermaine FunnyMaine Johnson. Always great with the comedy, always great with the perspective, and great to have him here joining us on Freddie and Harry. Keep doing your thing, Mr. FunnyMaine. We'll talk to you soon, and thank you so much again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's take it all the way. Roll Tide.
No doubt about that. I love the question you asked in terms of who was the funny person growing up that he knew, and then shouting out his uncle, and then his uncle gets 5 minutes on stage and just completely slays it, man. That was really cool to hear that.
But think about how many people that, like, all of us have in our families that could probably be comedians, but that's not the path that they chose, that are just naturally funny.
Yeah, no doubt, because stand-up comedy is no joke, like literally and figuratively, because you know people that have done that. I've known people working all my years in music radio